Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Ahoy. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another stream. Sorry about not streaming too much recently. I've been doing a lot of stuff off stream, and I should have probably been recording it for the stream. Some of it was pretty interesting, some of it not. Long and short of it was I added a new weapon. I spruced up existing weapons, and I added damage states to the Hornet. So now we are closer than ever to an actual playtest, which is very exciting. So yeah, I did cover some of this stuff in the last stream, but I went a little bit deeper and did even further refinement on some of the weapons. So, let's see here. First and foremost, the big one, the Stanchion. So, the Stanchion is alive. It's beautiful. I got most of the bugs fixed. I even added a custom UI. So you can see in the top right, there is a charging meter. So basically, it takes a good long while to charge, and so you cannot fire until that's fully charged. And if you look inside the magazine, you might catch a glimpse of the discarding sabot rounds that the Stanchion uses. In addition to that, you can also see the little Stanchion icon up there that's matched to the weapon. In addition to that, I modified the crosshairs to be more unique, just distinct from the regular sniper rifle, to like let you know immediately, oh, this isn't a regular sniper rifle, this is like a different weapon. In addition to that, just subtle things. Within the scope, you can see the icons for the bullets are no longer bullets, but rather the sabot rounds that the Stanchion uses. You can also see the charge meter over on the right to give you an idea of when you're ready to fire once more. Yeah. So I also added some decals, you know, to spruce up the Stanchion, make it look more official, more polished, more like a real gun, or at least a proper, you know, Halo one. Yeah. Are you thinking of getting it a slight 0.1 EMP from a force of impact just as an extra reason to use it? There's going to be other EMP weapons and vehicles in the mod, so I don't feel the need to do that for the Stanchion. However, I did modify the damage of the Stanchion to do 0 explosive damage, but like a ton of penetration damage. So, to demonstrate, I think I'm able to, yeah, I'm able to 3-shot a Hornet. Oh, let's talk about damage for a second. So I consulted actual Halo lore people for this, like actual writers for Halo, and they explained to me that the baseline for the Stanchion is relatively similar to the Gauss rifle from Halo 4. So it is not as insane as once I thought, although it is going to still be pretty powerful. It has more character than the Infinite version, more wear and use than clean fresh off the factory floor. Well, first of all, aren't you able to get like coatings that give it wear and tear? But also, second of all, the Stanchion in Infinite is literally just a skin for the sniper rifle. Like they can't really do much there. In fact, if you look at the Infinite sniper rifle or Infinite quote unquote Stanchion, you'll notice that there's a big like bridge in the middle of the barrel. That's for animation because they can't give it unique animations at all. It's just, you know, they're working with what they got. But yeah, so in terms of damage, it's relatively similar to the railgun from Halo 4, which it kind of is a railgun. So, yeah, I gave it 0 explosive damage. However, and I want to see if I can do this. Let's zoom out here. And let's go over here. I want to... Oh, hang on, let me adjust my fire. I got it. Hang on. There it is. Okay. So you notice something? It's punching clean through 3 vehicles at the same time. It's penetrating 3 solid objects at once. 3 vehicles. And that is far more lore accurate. So ramping up for a playtest, huh? When's that going to be? I'd give no specific set dates. I'm just going to say that we're close. Basically, the last vehicle that I want to get fully up and running is the shortsword. I just need to give it damage states, and then I want to make all of the vehicles fully boardable, so you can hijack them or board them. And then I might do some tweaking of the UI, and then I will actually fully model a fleshed out multiplayer map. Then we will playtest. Well, then I'm going to do an internal playtest where we, like, you know, me and some actual modders, you know, we search for bugs and we squash some bugs just to make sure everything's, like, playable and polished and good to go. Then we will have a playtest. That's the schedule. That's the bucket list, or the itinerary. Oh yeah, let me also talk a bit about some of these Forerunner structures. You may have noticed some new shapes around town. So I have a new member of the development team who's helping me out with this stuff, named Gibbo, and he is a freaking fantastic artist. He's been doing these Forerunner structures for me. He's been taking a lot of feedback, and he's been doing a fantastic job with this. These original Forerunner pieces were modeled by a guy named JS, who you may have heard of from Rejected Shotgun streams. JS is a super talented modeler, and Gibbo has been kind of taking the baton, as it were, and modeling all of these super fantastic Forerunner structures based off the low poly versions of them from Halo Wars. So these are built largely off of the Halo Wars Forerunner structures. So that means that we can actually recreate Halo Wars maps with a lot of these pieces. These are, like, you may recognize this glass bridge from Halo Wars. This is a repeating feature in many Halo Wars maps. As is this wedge, as is this little arch, and I believe this dam might be somewhere in one of the missions. I'm not sure. But in any case, he's giving me a modular kit to work with so that we can snap together pieces and build actual Halo Wars maps. And it will be, like, accurate to that game. What are your honest opinions on the world map terrain limitations in the Halo engine? Oh, God, they suck. Compared to, like, working in modern Unreal 5, obviously they are insanely limited. Everything has to be incredibly airtight. Everything has to be welded together. Everything has to... It's incredibly limited, especially, like, the poly count you can get away with, and you have to use what's called portals to split things up because it doesn't have dynamic occlusion culling and all this other modern stuff we're used to. Like, this is what I have to do with a lot of my maps, is I have to basically crunch them down near the borders so that the edges are as simple as possible, because if they're not, then they won't weld together properly, and it'll throw up a bunch of errors. And if you have errors, like open edges in your map, it will not allow you to build pathfinding or spawn AI and have them pathfind. It's a huge problem. So yeah, Halo 4's engine is way, way, way more lenient about it. Like, you don't have to construct BSPs with, like, inside of a specific skybox. You can just, like, make instanced geo, which not only allows you to have tremendously more geometry, it also, it's not convex physics. So you can have one-sided geometry as part of your level, which lets you actually, like, do art and focus on making the level pretty rather than having to focus on, like, all the seams and all the structural, cleanliness of everything. I am not exaggerating when I say I have spent entire days just trying to get a level to export without any kind of open edge errors, and it's an absolute nightmare. Yeah, they look awesome. Honestly, never thought I would properly see Halo Wars Forerunner styled translated into FPS. Yeah, yeah, we're doing our best here. This isn't like absolutely 100% accurate, but it's like at least 90% accurate. They're like, the only difference is like tiny little details that like nobody's really going to care about or really, you know, harp on. You know, I mean, like there's always nitpickers out there on the internet, you know, just going over everything with a fine-tooth comb or whatever. But it's like, I think the nature of this project, but yeah, yeah, so the Forerunner structures, it's also going to add a lot to the maps. It's going to give them way more character. Yeah. So, anyway. Oh, yeah. The Hornet. The Hornet is basically done at this point. I did a lot of polish to it, and I did the damage states. So, let's try to blow this thing up a little. Cheats. So, as you can see, you shoot a bit, and little pieces fly off. And it has destruction. The canopy gets busted. I busted off the canopy, and now it's smoking, and there's wires and crap hanging out. And yeah. Oh yeah. Also, let me show you guys a little thing. Let's see. Units, bipeds. Let's see if I can spawn. Okay, I'm going to spawn this guy and spawn this guy. Now check this out. Okay, I'm going to get in here. Then... Whoops. No, no, no. There we go. Okay. Wait, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh. Then... You. I require assistance. This took a lot of, this was kind of a pain. Okay, so as you can see, we have passengers for the Hornet. Now in Halo Reach, this was a bit of a pain to pull off. Halo Reach, as you know, does not have a Hornet. All it has is the Falcon, the Scorpion, the Warthog, and the Mongoose. Now, only like 2 or 3 of those vehicles have passengers. Well, I guess they all technically have passengers. But the thing is, Halo's audio died. Really? Did it? Hang on. Did it really? My OBS says I'm still getting audio. Really? Hang on. Oh. One second. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Are we good now? How we doing, fellas? I don't hear anything. Let me refresh YouTube. You were all good all along. Okay, were they trolling? Were they just trolling? Were they doing that thing they do to Rejected, where it's like, hey, you're muted. Hey, you're muted. Nice, now I hear the game audio too. Well, good. Okay. I'm always having to try to balance out the music with the game audio. Okay, anyway. What's up? What was I doing? Yes, I was showing you guys that we now have passenger seats on the Hornet. Now, for the most part, I'm having to recycle animations. There's just like the way passenger poses are set up is like I don't know how to change it right now. It's a lot of stuff I'd have to like dig into and figure out in R&D. And for now, I just want to recycle existing animations. So what I did was I went through all the different vehicles in Halo Reach, like the Falcon, the Mongoose, the Warthog, and all that. and I basically just copy pasted their seats, because the seats are hard coded to different animations. So if you like name your seat like Mongoose D, then the Spartan will pose as if it's in the mongoose. Now some of these things you can kind of like adjust, like you can move the markers for the hands around. And what I did was here, I took the mongoose seat, the Revenant seat, and I basically moved the markers for the Revenant passenger seat down to like this little bar, so his feet are resting on the bar, and this handle, so he's grabbing the handle. But like, it basically took re-exporting and re-exporting and adjusting and re-exporting until he was in this pose. And then over here, this is the Warthog passenger pose, and then I just adjusted his feet to have him like, you know, basically bracing himself against the Hornet. Now, this was kind of a hacky workaround solution, and it does work, but it's like, it's not perfect, you know? It looks good enough, obviously. You know, they still bob and sway with a Hornet, and they're still, you know, where they should be. It works. It's just a workaround, you know? I liked how jacked these Spartans look. Yeah. No, I was definitely, my Mark IV Spartan was definitely looking a little too skinny like a week ago. So I bulked him up a little bit, fed him some creatine, and like the joints are a little thicker, and his torso is a little wider. So now he looks like a proper Spartan. He's still probably not even as thick as the regular Mark V Spartan. Let's see, bipeds. Do I have? I don't have the regular Spartan in here. Hang on, Spartan's biped. Okay, so, well, hang on. Almost the same thickness. Yeah, the Mark V, or the Spartan 3s, rather. Spartan 3s do look slightly thicker than my Mark IV, but like, you know, for the most part, they seem to be roughly similar proportions, which is, you know, ideal. It's mainly like this padding in the waist and like a couple other things that make the Mark V-B look so bulky. But yeah. Yeah, the Mark IV armor is slightly more trim and form-fitting than the other Spartan armors anyway, so yeah. But in any case, yeah, lots of good tweaks and polishes to be made. Oh yeah, let me also show you guys this. So this is a subtle thing, but in my last stream, somebody suggested mimicking the little plasma edge effect from Halo Infinite, and I thought that was kind of a cool idea, so I added it. As you can see, we got the plasma wispies going along the edge of the blade, and I think that's a pretty cool addition. And then, like I pointed out last stream, we also have a weapon trail, so when you slash and do all that stuff, there's a little misty effect to it, which I think adds a lot. I think it just like looks so cool to see like a little weapon trail going around the energy sword. Yeah. Because the energy sword is kind of like the Halo lightsaber, right? It's just, and it's also just cool to see weapon trails. Yeah. Yeah, I think that adds a lot. All right. Now, what we're doing today is we're adding damage states to the short sword. And once that's done, then we will be able to call like the functional parts of the vehicle is pretty much complete other than boarding. I might also do some UI additions, but like for the most part, we'll be ready to go. Then we're gonna probably spend at least a week building an actual level. That is the idea of all time. Wait, man, when you get the time to, you should make some quick shorts showcasing these changes. Pop out like crazy. You're absolutely right. I'm absolutely gonna do that when I get a second or two. Yes, This is on Halo 4? No, this isn't Halo Reach. It will eventually be in Halo 4, but for now, everything is being built in Reach because that's where I started. So everything was already half finished, and I was like, well, I might as well finish it in Reach because there are going to be 2 versions of the mod. People are going to want to be able to play this in Reach just because it's Halo Reach, you know? So everything is, like, at this point, like, the content I have for Reach is mostly finished. Or at least these vehicles are finished. There's going to be way more vehicles, way more environments and maps and stuff like that. But in Halo Reach right now, I have the most stuff ready to play. So I'm doing my first playtest in Reach, and then in the future, I will be porting everything over to Halo 4. So yeah. Okay. So, as for the short sword, wait, did you use the contrail system for the sword wisp, or did you find another way? No, it's a contrail system. It's like, I basically took the contrail from the Hunter fuel rod cannons, and I reappropriated it for the energy sword. And just, there's a marker on the tip of the blade that swooshes around, and yeah, that's how I did that. I'm playing the Halo 4 PVR version. Oh, yeah, absolutely. When this goes to Halo 4, it's going to look freaking fantastic. Yeah. It's just like, you know, for now, most of this stuff is set up in Halo Reach. But yeah, let's see. Let's go over to Substance. Short sword. Oh, wait. Hang on. My working file isn't in the right directory. Give me 1 second. Data, objects, vehicles, human short sword. Okay. Data. Objects, vehicles, human short sword. Wait a second. Wait a darn tootin' minute. There we go. All right, short sword. So we're in Substance Painter right now, and oh my God, I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna have to go to widescreen mode. There we go. It's just how I work. And we're just gonna like give it some basic damage texture, and then we're gonna spruce it up in Blender. But yeah, base color, material. Rejected sucks. I reject him. Why? Why do you reject Rejected? He's cool, man. Quick question: how long have you spent making this so far? It looks fabulous. I've spent like on and off. I've spent like about a year on this project. But like chronologically, it's taken like 2 to get to this point. But again, that's like, you know, I've had jobs, I've had, you know, life, I've had, you know, other stuff, kind of taking me away, not giving me enough time. But right now, within the last like week or 2, I've really been going at it pretty hard. Leave the shotgun alone, guys. Yeah, seriously. Rejected is super cool. Rejected has actually been helping this channel a lot to grow. Every time I stream, you know, he does the raid thing, which gives me like, you know, 160 viewers. He's been, you know, promoting me, boosting me, helping me out. So yeah, he's really been a huge help for the channel. You know, people know me mainly from like when I pop into his streams. So yeah. Okay, sir, let's dirty this guy up. Short sword hull. And smart materials. I wonder if... So let's collapse all our materials. Let's try to add damage, hull damage. Let's see what we can do with that. Hull damage. wonder if I can paint. Ah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm painting with symmetry. Not intentionally, but I guess that might just be the UVs. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and use the paint tool. Yeah. What's your favorite Halo Wars 1 vehicle? Ooh, that's a good one. Probably the Falcata. The one that like I helped make canon, which was pretty awesome. Here to mention Rejected Shotgun. I'll be watching his stream because I can't do the stream jumping thing that I did that one day. I can't keep up, but I think what you're making is cool. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Also, damn, I did not expect to have 55 viewers at this point. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Subhull. Oh, man. Okay, so... I'm not as familiar with this material. We might have to... I might have to, like, be meticulous about this. And smoke. Wait. Okay. I see. Okay, well, first, let's play with these levels. Yep, and then mask. Can we play with the tiling amount? I don't feel like doing flood music right now. Don't feel like flood music. There we go. That's better. Okay, so that's a good amount of dirt. And sub-hull. Okay, so this... So what mask are they using? I'm gonna copy this effect. Paste this effect. I'm gonna move this up here. Say multiply. See if that... No, is that not the right... Huh. Let's study this a little bit. What is causing... Okay, that. Clouds 1. Copy effects. Paste effects. There we go. Clouds. Tiling. We gotta make this actually mask. Should I invert this? Can I invert this? Tiling. Yeah. Strange that... Okay, tiling. what? I might have to add a paint layer. Add paint. Add white mask. Wait, no. Oops. This is supposed to be a black mask. There we go. Okay, cool. And then a paint layer. Wait, what? Ah, darn it. Okay, add paint. Paint. And then for paint, let's use a brush alpha. Let's look at our alphas. What can we use for our alphas? No, no, no. That's not terrible. Not quite what we want, though. Sorry. Are you gonna change the elites eventually in Reach, or are you gonna wait for the engine to jump to Halo 4? Probably gonna... Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait until I jump to Halo 4. Halo 4 is a priority when it comes to characters, because the characters in Reach already kind of look the part, whereas the characters in Halo 4 obviously don't. So most of the character work is going to be done in Halo 4. I might change the characters in Halo Reach, you know, especially if I'm going to do a firefight map. But yeah. The mangling of Fox Cannon to make the Kodiak Siege Cannon will always bother me. The what? What you talking about? Mangling of the Fox Cannon. Just looking for the right brush here. Ooh, I didn't know we had bullet impacts and broken glass. Ooh, yes, that's it. That's the sauce. That is the sauce that I've been looking for, in fact. Excellent. Okay, all right. Let's add some position jitter. Angle jitter, size jitter. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Cool. Love that. The hell? What is this? Oh! Oh, that's pretty cool. Very cool. Not quite what I'm looking for, but still pretty neat. Yeah. You know what? I might have to just do this as a filter. Hang on. White mask. Okay. Then... dirt dusty. What about rust? That black mask. Okay, we clearly need to play with this a little bit. What the heck? You're not doing anything. Texture. Up, there it goes. I think. No. Global balance. Well, this just doesn't want to work now, does it? This is more what I was going for. Crank up that contrast. Increase the global balance. Texture. Scale. None of that's really working. Texture too. That's not quite what I want. Darn it. Okay, this is getting closer. Closer to what I want. Still not quite there, though. Might be overthinking this just slightly.
There we go.
Here we go. I'm looking for a good mask. And it's surprisingly difficult to find one. Okay. Just to let you guys know, I might be taking a break in a little bit to go to the grocery store, but then I can get back on. Yeah. Oh no. The instant blow me away comes on, like the channel, like, or the video gets hit with a copyright strike, so I have to like immediately skip it. It's still probably gonna get struck. God, it's really annoying. What are you guys talking about? I wonder if you can make an animation play when these get shot down, kind of like how Rage Campaign, the sabers spin out would kill. Probably? I bet you could, because I mean, like, you can make death animations. I don't know. Go ask Rejected, see what he thinks. Probably can. Don't see why not. So as you can see, the reason I'm layering everything this way is so that I have this initial damage where it digs into the metal, and then I put a layer underneath this initial metal layer that kind of like copies the same paint areas and then uses a blur on the height to peel up the metal. Yeah. Basically like ripping up the metal in the texture to make it look like there's huge holes and stuff's like exploded out and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. At least I think so. I think that's pretty effective. just dropped in to say this project is looking amazing. Super excited to see the end result. Yeah, thank you. It is a lot of work, but I think it'll be well worth it.
Alert. I'm detecting Covenant movement. Analyzing. Initiate.
Okay, so what you can see I've done here is I have a lot of impact parts throughout the hull of the object, and what I've done is create speed marks. Basically, when you hit things at high velocity while moving through the air, you know, it tends to streak across the surface of the aircraft, and I kind of replicated that with some layering and trickery and whatnot. Now I'm gonna touch it all up a little bit. Might even decide to remove certain parts of it. So now I'm just touching it all up and erasing the damage in certain parts. And you'll notice how I basically just blurred the speed line in both directions while I'm erasing the forward direction so that it's only streaking back, not forward, you know, because that wouldn't make much sense. So yeah, just touching it all up a bit. And then the cool thing about this is it's non-destructive, so we can increase the intensity of this blur. Well, first, I guess we should change the levels to make it more prominent. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool trick, huh? Continue to touch all this up. All right, I'm almost reaching a stopping point where I'm gonna go on a short break to go to the store, and then I'm gonna come back real quick. Let's see. I want to touch up this area. Wait. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd say that's looking pretty darn beat up so far, if I do say so myself. See what it looks like under the base color. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you guys. You got about 100 people watching? Holy crud. Wait. And Rejected still? Wait, this isn't after Rejected rated me? Holy crap. Oh, man. Dang, his stream's doing really well too. He's got like 175. He usually struggles to get 150 on a lot of his streams. Glitchy Gamer, how do you get the trail and fog effects on your energy sword working? So the trail is a contrail effect. I basically took the the fuel rod gun's contrail from its projectile and then stuck it onto the tip of the energy sword. And then the fog effect was basically I made a copy of the energy sword mesh and just attached. Oh God, I just attached a plasma running effect to it. I can show you when I come back, but right now I gotta get going to the store before it gets too late, and I'll be back. It might take me like an hour or less, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream for now, and then I'm gonna probably create another stream. So if you're watching now, please check back in about an hour. I'll be back on streaming, and then we can continue making damage states for the short sword. Yeah. All right, I will see y'all in a bit.